In this episode, I'm going to talk to you about my 3 biggest regrets in the music industry and how you can avoid them. Let's do this. Do not miss this episode. I spent the last 14 years playing over 1,000 shows, touring 22 different countries, and become a top 40 Billboard charting artist. I fired my record label to go out on my own as an independent artist to market and release my own music, selling thousands of albums and millions of streams. The question I always get is, how did I do it without a label and sell even more music? This podcast is here to show you the way. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my music business and a loyal fan base. So I'm just going for a walk here, guys. Just about to take my daughter swimming. My wife's just getting her ready, and we're going to watch from the top. She's doing her swimming lessons. And then just going to hang out. It's a Saturday afternoon. I'm recording this. And I'm not in a bad mood or anything like that. That's not why I'm talking about the regrets here. I'm not upset or anything. But I just kind of want you guys to learn from my mistakes and just things that I would do differently if I had a time machine and I could go back in time. And the first thing I would do is, if I could go back and change, and one of my regrets that I wish I did starting in the music industry, is I wish I embraced the art of songwriting even more. I wish I embraced collaborating with other songwriters. I wish that I, leaned into the Songwriter Society, like in Canada here at SOCAN. If I lived in the U.S., it would have been, ASCAP or BMI or CSEC. I would have really surrounded myself with songwriters and really dove into the art of writing songs and meeting people and challenging my songwriting, as opposed to just writing rap lyrics or just write a hook, but really diving into the songwriting, because I felt like I was always just writing songs for me, for Manifest, and I could have been just writing songs constantly, period. Especially when I was on tour, on the road, there was a lot of downtime. And yeah, when I was on the road, I read a lot of business books. I learned about marketing, and I'm so glad about that. But I also wish I took the time to collaborate more and just write, and even go into the whole idea of writing for TV and film. And it's funny, I remember having different companies that I'd work with that would get my songs in TV and film and stuff, but nobody actually took me under their wing really to say, hey, this is what we're looking for TV and film. Like, no one said, hey, this is what you should write for, and really narrow my focus on it. It was just kind of like, yeah, that song will work. Yeah, we like that one, or we don't like that one. No one said, hey, Chris, this is what you need to do to make your songwriting better for that. So I never understood that until right now, 2019, as I'm recording this, where I know what to write for and to have those lines that could be syncable for a TV film. Even we have a song that I just wrote that's perfect for the Warriors, for the Oakland Warriors, for NBA, and we're hoping that that'll connect with them and maybe possible other sports teams. And we wrote some of these lines in the lyrics specifically designed to do that, but I never knew about that. I never knew how to even go about that when I first started. And so I encourage you, go meet people. How do you do that? Well, there's lots of workshops in your local city that you can go to, especially if you're in a major city, whether it's Nashville, New York, LA. And if you're not there, then maybe you need to start planning trips. Okay, I fly to Nashville every other month or every couple months to do some songwriting and meet with new people and build relationships, okay? And so I really encourage you to do that. So that's what I would have done if I could go back. I would have not just written for Manifest, I would have written for other people. I would have collaborated more and just not been this island, okay? And there's a story I want to share with that as well too, is because there's this really popular artist, and I'm not going to tell you who they are, but pretty famous, written with a lot of famous people, and I kind of always cold-shouldered this person and didn't lean into them, even when they were kind of helping me a little bit at the beginning, even though they had a little bit of an ego thing. But I looking back at it, I felt like I also was just really insecure, and I kind of thought I was too cool or I was better, or didn't like what they were doing, and I really could have leaned into that person more and shouldn't have looked at it the way it was, because that would have been a very, very, very strong relationship now, and I really look up to that person now. And so I just really encourage you to always be open. Don't think that you know everything, okay? And try to learn from other people, all right? I would have done that for sure. And then the other, this is the second or third thing that if I could go back in time, was just there's this time where I was working in a relationship with somebody on music stuff, and I didn't realize that I kind of, wasn't as loyal as I could be, and they were loyal to me. And I kind of all of a sudden had some hits that they helped me, make happen. And then I kind of thought I had the golden touch, had the golden finger, and I started working with somebody else. And I'll never forget when I said that to them. They're like, "Oh, really?" Like they were kind of shocked. And then it was very hard for me to work with them again. And, and so there's something about loyalty, especially with a manager, booking agent, doesn't matter who it is. You don't slap the person who just helped you get somewhere really special. Be loyal to them. Okay, and that could even be a label, that could be a radio person, that could be whatever. If someone's worked their butt off to help you get somewhere, be loyal. Don't be that bouncing around person, stepping on the next person to get to the higher one. I've seen artists do this multiple times with managers, where a certain manager gets them to a certain place, and literally they're, famous and success, but the artist is like, well, that's not enough success. I need more success. And they think it's going to be a different manager, and they go to that bigger manager, and then their career falls apart because now they're just a small fish in a bigger pond, and they don't get the attention that they used to get from the small manager, and they don't get the hustle, and they don't get the person just doesn't care about them. And then you left this other manager that really cared about you. And you know what? I did this early on in my career. There's a guy that was really helping me out, and he wasn't like big time or anything, and he was in Canada, and I wanted somebody in the U.S. And anyways, I ended up signing with this manager in the U.S. And if you read my book Fighter, go listen to it on Amazon or Spotify, Fighter, 5 Keys to Conquering Fear. I share the whole story where I signed with this manager in the U.S. And yeah, he got me on a couple festivals, but he was one of the reasons I went 30,000 plus in debt right after I quit my job, because he ran me ragged into the ground and didn't pull opportunities. And he was the one that said to me, like, who do you think you are? You're just like a white rapper from Canada. Nobody cares about you. He said that to me. I don't know if it was on the phone or in person or whatever it was, because I kept on bringing all these ideas, and I was like, well, why don't we try this? Why don't we try that? And he just really stomped out my ideas. And this was before I blew up in Japan and all this stuff. And anyways, I forsook that guy in Canada, kind of, and I don't know if he would have maybe learned the industry. I do know definitely he cared about me more than that other guy and worked his butt off. I don't think either of them are in the music industry anymore, but my point is that, like, man, like, trying to just go with the person that you think's better and make a rush decision is not always smart. And this is the other thing. I had another buddy who was helping me to try and get another manager even before that. But because I was in such a rush and I was in such a hurry, I had to sign with a manager and move the needle and make this happen and quit my job. And, when I look back at it, I didn't even have to quit my job. I probably could have taken a leave of absence. I probably could have done something else. Even though I was signed, I thought that meant, I quit my job now because I'm going to be a rock rap star, and it doesn't mean that. And so I rushed into something where I probably should have waited a little longer and planned it out. But I just wanted it so bad, and I forced it. All right. There's another story with my album, The Chase. Again, somebody was trying to help me out, trying to get me signed to a major label, and we had a bunch of labels that were interested, and this was one of my biggest records, still is, The Chase. And again, somebody was pressuring me to get this record done and out in Japan, because I was pretty famous in Japan still at that point, but we didn't have a US deal locked in yet. And I quickly, again, was forced and rushed and signed with a smaller label again. And they were the ones that kind of blew me up on radio a little bit, but they did nothing as far as this other market and didn't, kind of take it to the next level as much. And again, I feel like I kind of rushed things. And so I hope you're hearing my voice and hearing my tone that, be wise, be prudent, and be patient. And don't make rush decisions like I did, but, pray, think, get counsel. And remember, everybody's got their own agenda. One of the people that were pressuring me to sign so quickly with this one label is because he was my grant writer, and I know he was trying to apply for grants for me, and so he needed another record out to apply this stuff. And so some people really do just care about you and want the best, and other people, unfortunately, do have their own agenda. And again, I wouldn't say I ruined relationships or whatever, but I definitely think I possibly cut off bigger opportunities that I could have had if I had been patient, maybe waited for a bigger deal, and then possibly I could have had a bigger splash out there and I'd be a bigger artist today. But instead, I kind of boxed myself into what was comfortable, what was easy. And, it definitely wasn't for the money. I can't even remember now, thinking back, why I signed so quick. But thank God we did have a bunch of radio hits with them. But it was majority in the Christian market and also in the mainstream Japan. But, it could have been mainstream USA, which would have been 10 times bigger. So I just want you to constantly dream big. Don't always just go with what's the easiest, what's in front of you. Okay? Be patient. Wait a little bit sometimes. But at the same time, don't procrastinate. I'm definitely telling you not to procrastinate. Sometimes it's better to move than do nothing at all. But in my instance, I probably could have waited another week or two. I'll never forget, one of my producers said to me, because I was saying, the label needs it here, the label needs it now, they need it tomorrow, that's the deadline. And I'll never forget him saying, really, they really need it that day, it's going to, change the whole world if they don't get it. And so some people like to impose these insane deadlines on you that just aren't realistic, just to make you move. They say the music industry is hurry up and wait. So anyways, hope that helped. I want to remind you that a fighter isn't someone who never failed. A fighter is someone who never quits. And go read my book, Fighter, 5 Keys to Conquering Fear and Reaching Your Dreams. You can get a copy at my store, manifestshop.com, or you can listen to it on iTunes or Spotify or Amazon. You can get it as well. Peace. So if you're a struggling artist and you're just trying to figure out this music industry, you want to go full-time with your music, you want to get noticed on social media, or learn how to launch an album, an EP, or just get your music more marketed out there, I want to encourage you to check out my coaching program called Fanbase University. Every single month, I jump on the phone 2 times with my students and I coach them and I teach them how to market their music, how to get noticed, how to handle booking agents, record labels, and just get their music out there. Also, you get access to exclusive training, you get interviews with music industry professionals. If you want to find out more and not do this on your own, not struggle, because I've wasted thousands of dollars on my career and now I want to coach other artists. Check out my program, fanbaseuniversity.com, or click the link below to find out more info.